started 3 years ago. I did my ESPN deal. It wasn't what I wanted. You know, like I realized, I was like, I had to do more. And like honestly, I felt played. And you know, the worst thing for anybody that's from New Orleans is to feel played. But I felt like I deserved something that they didn't feel like I deserved. And so I set out that day and I said that day, that in 3 years, I'll be the best in the world doing this. That there'll be no stone left unturned. I leave no doubt that there was nobody in the world that was like me.
So less than 24 hours of Ryan Clark being let go by ESPN, he's now been rehired to ESPN Plus. Right? You know, there was a lot of backlash. It's a 2-time Emmy Award winner. A lot of people was very disgruntled with ESPN for letting him go. You have some detractors, right? And in this video, we're going to talk about Pat McAfee because he's the one being accused of actually, this is all alleged, he's been accused of being the reason that Ryan Clark was fired because they don't get along, right? But he's going to be on ESPN Plus. He was up there filming him in his Pivot show. And Ryan Clark is very good at what he does. I don't agree all the time with all of his takes, but he has some real great takes. And one thing about Ryan Clark, he's not afraid to be himself and you know, take up for black people on the air. He doesn't just let you just come up there with anything and just say anything about black people. Ryan Clark don't do that. I love that fact about him. But let's revisit what Stephen A. Smith said yesterday.
I don't know all those details. And to be quite honest with you, I don't care. What I care about is that my brother, Ryan Clark, a person that I consider to be arguably the best NFL analyst in America, is no longer a member of ESPN. And I can't even tell y'all how much that hurts. He's a man. And so he's going to handle it the way men do. And we understand that. But I'm going to miss him. I am not happy about this decision one bit. The bosses know I'm not happy about this decision. I've made that very, very clear. But it's also important that myself and anybody else in the world of business be grown-ups and understand that these are the kind of things that happen when layoffs happen. It's Tuesday, and by the end of this day, you're going to hear about a lot more folks getting laid off. People that are my colleagues, my contemporaries. For all I know, and I don't know the names yet, but for all I know, some more of my friends are going to be gone. The only thing that I can definitively say to you is that there's nobody that's going to be let go that was more of a friend and a brother to me than Ryan Clark. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
I don't feel sicker for Ryan than I do anybody else that is going to lose their job or has lost their job, but I do want to advocate for a guy that I actually don't think I've ever even met in person. He was on yesterday when he found out he was being let go, and that's Ryan Clark. I think he's very talented. We have a lot of mutual friends, all of whom vouch for him, and as an added little bonus, the people who dislike him the most are some of the worst, most disingenuous charlatans around. So that makes me like him even more. I don't have ESPN's books. I don't know the tough decisions they had to make. I'm not even sitting here saying it's outrageous that that is one of the people you decided to cut. Companies have to make decisions that companies have to make. This should have been handled better. And my guess is everyone involved knows it.
So you had a lot of people speaking up, and y'all know Stephen A. Snitch. He gonna have to come out and get out in front of that. Now, we don't know if that stuff that Stephen A. Snitch said was true or false, right? But we know that Ryan Clark was very outspoken. And let's revisit, like, remember when he got into the situation on air with that guy, you know, and he, you know, about analytics and about the numbers, and he told the guy, you didn't play the game. Right, you didn't play the game, and the guy basically went off, and they got into a little mini skirmish, right? Well, now let me not use the word skirmish. They got into a mini disagreement on the air. And, Ryan, being a black guy, he's too outspoken.
We shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop. That's no. CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not saying.
I'm not looking at fantasy football, Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be.
Now we know that Stephen A. Smith just got that $100 million deal. Pat McAfee got a mega blockbuster deal, and now they're talking about paying Pat McAfee upwards north of $60 million a year, right? And y'all know that Ryan Clark and Pat McAfee, they've had their issues with each other, where Pat McAfee was trying to play Ryan Clark at some point in time, right? But it says Pat McAfee of College Game Day just absorbed Ryan Clark's salary after the NFL analyst was laid off by ESPN. ESPN is suspected to start paying Pat McAfee north of $60 million annually after laying off other employees. So other employees was laid off. But y'all remember this clip with Ryan Clark and Pat McAfee was going back and forth?
Doing well, man. I got to talk about people who kind of wear football uniforms but don't really play football.
Right, and sticking with it.
This morning.
But let me ask you a couple questions, Ryan Clark, shall I?
Let's do this.
Ryan, have you ran with a football in an NFL game? Have you had a rush?
No, I have not.
Oh,
that's weird.
Have you thrown a pass in the NFL?
I have not.
Oh,
I have not.
This is very. Have you scored in an NFL game?
I actually have not.
Oh, well. See,
Right.
there's a lot of things I think that make up a football game. You know what I mean? Like tackling, running, passing, kicking, blocking. I mean, there's a lot of things there. I've done them all.
Remember, Pat McAfee is a W. So he calls out those old executives, calls them names, does everything all the time. And he has a lot of power over there because he's one of them, right? Stephen A. Smith is the token guy that they use, where I don't want to get into Stephen A. Snitch, but Stephen A. didn't have the power to stop them from firing Ryan Clark, right? When Ryan Clark did what he did with that W guy, they sent Pat McAfee to try to go after Ryan, right? On the air. But Pat, he's always, talking about they're trying to sabotage his numbers. He's always complaining about a lot of stuff that actually goes on, with them folks, and he gets to get away with it, and they give him more money.
TV, stop telling people to go to a website to save a multi-billion-dollar deal. Okay?
Oh, come on.
Nobody cares what you have to say. There will be nothing that we say or any website that'll be visited that'll get this thing. There are, I don't want to say the exact names, but these people, it's poor sorts though.
Yeah.
It's poor sorts out for the good of sports. Need each other. Anyways, we're very appreciative, and we understand that more people are watching this show than ever before. We're very thankful for the ESPN folks being very hospitable. Now, there are some people actively trying to sabotage us from within ESPN.
Funny.
More specifically, I believe Norby Williamson is the guy who is attempting to sabotage our program. I'm not 100% sure. That is just seemingly the only human that has information, and then somehow that information gets leaked, and it's wrong, and then it sets a narrative of what our show is, and then are we just going to combat that from a rat every single time? I don't know, but somebody tried to get ahead of our actual ratings release with wrong numbers 12 hours beforehand. That's a sabotage attempt.
So again, they had confrontation when RC was telling Pat McAfee to pull up on the show that they was doing. He was in South Bend, because y'all know, and remember, these are all former players. So RC was going in on Aaron Rodgers. And I remember that when he put that take on Aaron Rodgers. But this is the thing. What RC said about Aaron Rodgers is a lot of players say it, analysts say it. It wasn't just Ryan Clark. Aaron Rodgers is not liked by hundreds of people within the NFL family, right? The Green Bay Packers a lot of people don't like him. So he called them out, right? Because he knows the behind the scenes things of what goes on, right? And he was upset with McAfee because McAfee gave him a platform to come after, to respond instead of, let's just check it out.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh,
I just got a PSA. Just a quick
okay.
PSA.
All right. I thought we were.
Just a quick PSA reminder.
Started with 12, countdown to what?
Say is this. I know I got to say this multiple times for people because they don't listen, but say what I want about me. I don't care. But just before you do it, whether you state your name, your accolades, pronouns, whatever it is, just state your vax status so that anything you say afterwards gets put in the right light. Just please help everybody out who's wondering where is this coming from, including myself. I don't know where from. But just give a little PSA. You do a little bit of digging, then you know where it's all coming from, right? You're captured, you're highly valued, and then say whatever the hell you want to say about me, because I couldn't give two shits about it. All I care about is that you put that little disclaimer out there, just like it's in the bottom for me, that I'm a champ, MVP, and I am enthusiastic about ayahuasca. Just put, instead of your accolades that you need to have out there so desperately, just put your vax status as well, because you cared so much about it, during the years.
All right.
So just put it out there on your bio when you're about on your shows or whatever. You don't just need a brooch with your initials.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Put your vax status on there too.
So Pat McAfee got him packed up, got him up out of there, because after that incident, they was going back and forth, threatening each other online, and he was saying, I'm in South Bend now, pull up, because I think that's where Pat McAfee do his show from. And he was saying, I'm here now, pull up. RC a football player, man. Y'all know how violent he played on the field. So sometimes he can be volatile in his demeanor at times, right? And that could get him in trouble, especially making a lot of W folks uncomfortable, because he doesn't exhibit the behavior. He doesn't put his hat down on his chest and say, yes, sir, boss, no, sir, boss, right? He's not, he's not, in the words they would use, I ain't gonna say that word, but, he marches to his own drum. And that could be problematic to some of the W executives up there. So it's been alleged that Pat McAfee could have been the reason that he was let go. Now he's been brought back and he's on ESPN+. But y'all let me know what y'all, now of course that's going to be for significant less amount of money. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Until the next time, peace.